I haven't. All right, everybody. I think we're live now. I am not entirely sure. Please let me know in chat if you can hear me. Is the sound okay? Do you see me? Do you hear me? Are things working? I I have not streamed on YouTube before, trying to figure out how it works. So if you're watching this right now, please let me know in the chat. That would be great. We live works. All right, awesome, awesome. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. If you're watching this VOD after I've done streaming, then sorry about the weird start. As I said, it's my first time streaming on YouTube, and there was a little bit of technical stuff to figure out, and I wasn't quite sure how it worked. But welcome everybody. My name is Rejnols, and today, as the title suggests, we'll be looking at some Custodes builds and just make some lists. Now, I'm not going ahead and saying that these lists are any good, or I'm going to be playing them myself. They are mostly just trying to cook up some Custode list stuff and see how like points works out and get a general idea of the things that we think, you know, might be interesting to use, give it a try, and figure it out from there. Welcome everybody. Holy hell, we have a lot of people in chat. As I am doing the lists, feel free to ask any questions. And if you have a list you'd like to try and see, you feel free to suggest it, and I might do it. No promises. If you're watching this after the stream is done, feel free to go ahead and join the Discord and ask any questions there. Should be a link in the description below. All right. Here we good. Here you good. Do not put Trajan in. Guys, Chris is a guy from my local club, and he doesn't like Trajan. That's why he tells me not to put Trajan in. Don't listen to him. He's just trolling. Okay, so starting off the stream, as I said, if you have some suggestions for lists, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll maybe check them out. For now, though, we'll be building 3 different lists. First and foremost, it's a guard spam list. A lot of people really like their custodian guards, and while I probably personally like wardens a little bit more, I am aware that guards are really good now because they're very cheap, and some people just have 30 custodian guards or whatever. So we'll build a list where we try to take as many guards as possible while also, you know, being able to play the game. Then the other list we'll be trying to do is the Terminator spam list. That one is something that was fairly popular before the DATASLATE, so now I just kind of want to see, you know, how many more points does that list have and what does that add to the list? Or would you just rather run, you know, wardens and guards instead? And then finally, we also have a plastic-only list. I think actually all 3 of these lists are going to be plastic-only, but, you know, maybe we think about throwing in a Caladius Graph Tank or 2 in any of these lists. The last one is going to be plastic-only, no Forge World, so you don't have to worry about that. In general, though, I think most lists are probably going to be running mostly plastic. Maybe Venatari and Caladius will see a place in some lists, but in general, I think you can get away with running all plastic and having no issues whatsoever. So that's the plan for today. We'll start off with the guard spam list. And yeah, once again, welcome to all of you. Tom, Chris, Minimat, Sal, Hextrexer, Istaru, Robbie, that's a cool name. Exile, Thorn, and Chris, welcome to the stream. Let's get started. So if you're wondering what list builder I'm using, it is called New Recruit. You can use it on on a browser. They might also have a downloadable app. I haven't checked that out, but I'm just using New Recruit because Battlescribe is sometimes slow to update. So now I'm using New Recruit. Alrighty. So let's start off with this guard spam list. Now, guard spam implies that we take mostly custodian guards. How many points of custodian guards is 6 squads? Let's check that out real quick first and foremost. Custodian guard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 squads of custodian guards puts us at 1,350 points. So that's actually a lot of points left over. We obviously want some characters for these custodian guards. So let's try and figure that one out as well. Just again, this is not the list. We're just trying to see where the points take us. So Trajan Valoris, I don't think I build any Custodes list without Trajan anymore. He is absolutely amazing. He was amazing before for me because I played on WTC rules, and they ruled that Trajan would ignore all those modifiers, Armor of Contempt, -1 damage, half damage, so on and so forth. But some people weren't playing with those rules. Now it's official, so everyone should just be including Trajan in basically every single list. So we're doing that as well. And then other things, so we're playing with guards, right? I still see guards as glass cannons. They are slightly less glass cannon now because they don't have a weakness to devastating wounds in the same way we did before. But they still die to, anti-tank shooting or whatever they died to before. So Custodian guards, you get them there, and then they kill something, and then there's a decent chance they die afterwards. So you need to make sure you get them where you want to get them. What is the best character to get them where you want to get them? I would argue that is the Blade Champion. Not only do you get to reroll your advances and reroll your charge rolls, you also get the once per game advance and charge. You could maybe argue that a Shield Captain also helps deliver them because you get the -1 damage strat for free. So I think those two are the best options for Custodian Guard delivering. And then you could take Trajan with one of them because that also just ups their damage by crazy. They also cannot be slowed by like -2 movement or any of that stuff. So both Trajan and Blade Champion and maybe Shield Captain are good options to put with your Custodian Guards. For now though, we have Trajan, we have a Blade Champion. What is 3 Blade Champions? So 3 Blade Champions and Trajan leaves us with 130 points. So 130 points, that is... What is that? That's not 2 Prosecutor squads. That is 1 Prosecutor squad and 1 Witch Seeker squad. Then we have 40 points left over. I guess another Prosecutor squad. So in theory, if you at home watching this right now have 30 Custodian Guards ready to go, you could take 3 Blade Champions and Trajan with them. That'll leave you with 2 Custodian Guard squads without a character, but I think that's okay. And then you have 2 units of Prosecutors and 1 unit of Witch Seekers. That is honestly kind of wild. That you can have 6 Custodian Guard squads, 4 characters, and then 3 chaff units. That is 34 Custodian bodies you're putting on the table. That's pretty wild. Eli Konian, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey mate, guard player here, looking to branch into Custodes. Love your work and your insight. Hope you'll grow on YouTube. You deserve it. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Hard to buy Forge World these days as they are out of stock on the GW website. So I didn't say this, but all my Forge World is not actually Forge World. Hint, hint, wink, wink. New Recruit, best builder at the moment. So I haven't actually used New Recruit before, but I was told that it was updated, and I figured, you know what, I'll go ahead and use it, and I've used it a little bit, and I really like it. So yeah, I probably agree. It probably is better than Battlescribe, yeah. In this kind of guard spam list, could you, when done building, elaborate on what you would start on the board, anything in Deep Strike? Yeah, I'll take a look at that, sure thing. What software is it, by the way? So this is New Recruit, it's in the browser, but there might also be a downloadable link. Just started Custodes army, what 2 assassins do you recommend? The Eversor Assassin and the Callous Assassin. I actually have a video on my channel talking about all of the assassins if you want more in-depth, but the quick answer is the Caladius. No, not Caladius, Calidus. The Calidus Assassin and the Eversor Assassin are honestly the only 2 assassins worth taking. You ever use Kyria Draxus? Yes, I've actually been playing a lot of games with Kyria Draxus. I don't hate her. I don't love her either. I think she helps with shooting. And you know, that's something that Custodes don't have a lot of without Terminators. So in that sense, Kyria Draxus can be quite nice, yes. Trajan Valyrian, Shield Captain, Terminator Armor, blah, blah, blah. It's a list you got there, Shane. We'll take a look at that later on. For now, we'll just be list building. But feel free to chat along and ask questions. But okay, so get back to this guard spam list. Obviously, I don't think I would run just guards and characters, but if you want to, it's possible now. So, let's go back and be a little bit more realistic about this. Let's remove 1 Blade Champion, and let's remove 2 squads of Custodian Guards for now. So right now we have 4 Custodian Guard squads with 3 characters. We have 2 Prosecutors and 1 Witch Seeker. Let's go ahead and remove 1 Witch Seeker and add 1 Prosecutor and add another Witch Seeker. Because I really like having 2 Witch Seekers, because yes, they might die after they've done an action or a secondary, but having that scout move makes so many more secondaries easy to grab turn 1. So that's why I like having 2 Witch Seekers. That's more of a personal thing. I see a lot of Custodes lists only run 1 Witch Seeker squad. I like 2. That's just me. Alright, so we got 4 Custodian Guard squads, Trajan Valoris, Blade Champion. Let's go ahead and add that Calidus Assassin. Let me just go ahead and hide all of these things there. Let's go ahead and add the Calidus Assassin. If you don't know why the Calidus Assassin is great, You can pick her up every single turn, so like the Alaris Terminators, but she can do it every single turn at the end of your opponent's turn. So she helps a lot with secondaries because you can just pick her up and be like, oh, I need investigate signals. I need someone in this corner. Boop, she goes in that corner. Or, oh, I need something to hold my home objective because my sisters got shot off the board by indirect fire. Boom, she goes on the objective, like that. So the Callous Assassin is great. She also makes a battle tactic more expensive. You can ask Chris, if he's still in the chat, how much he loves having his -1 damage on his Death Guard cost 3 command points instead of 2. Oh, excuse me. And she's actually pretty good in melee as well. Now, my face is hiding her profile, so let me just go ahead and grab my own face away from here. Her profile is pretty good in melee as well. She gets 5 attacks, weapon skill 2, strength 5, AP 4, damage 2, lethal hits, precision, but she also has fight first. So your opponent can't just charge her with, say, you know, a normal Space Marine squad, because she will kill like 3 or maybe 4 Space Marines, and then there's an okay chance she survives the swing back. And then her Flamer is 12-inch range, D6 shots, strength 5, AP 2, damage 1, anti-infantry 2+, and precision. So she can actually kill off a character in a squad if you roll high enough on the number of shots. So overall, Callous Assassin, just amazing. I think she has a place in basically every list. If you have 90 points to spare, grab Callous Assassin. If you don't have 90 points to spare, I would highly recommend you try and find those 90 points. She just does a ton of work. Absolutely ton of work. Right, so that's the Callous Assassin. We want her in there for sure. Then, alongside the Callous Assassin, we could grab the Eversor Assassin or Kyria Draxus. So a lot of people are very hyped on Kyria Draxus because she does increase the shooting output of guards by quite a bit. Yeah, there is. Oh, okay. So her shooting is pretty good. That's the point. Her shooting is, you get 1 gun that is anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, assault, 4 shots, hitting on 3s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 2. Now, AP 0 sucks, but it's anti-infantry 4+ with devastating wounds. You then get the wound rerolls for being in a guard squad, and then you also get to shoot twice with her because she's part of the guard squad, and the guard squad gets shoot twice once per game. So she adds quite a bit more firepower just with that alone. But she also has a psychic attack, which is indirect. Sustain hits 2, 18-inch range, 6 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 6, AP 0, damage 2. So basically it's like an indirect shuriken catapult, I think they're called. Which is, again, just more shooting. And again, she gets to shoot that twice, once per game, with full wound rerolls because of the guards if they're on an objective. I've been playing with her for a few games now. I like her. As I said, she increases the shooting of custodian guards. That being said, is she worth taking over an Eversor Assassin? I think maybe she is now. Before the DATASLATE, I was not sold because we needed that assassin to help with secondaries. However, we now have so many more units, or we have enough points to take more chaff, that maybe you don't need the Eversor anymore. That being said, the Eversor Assassin is still really good. For now though, let's do Kyria Draxus because she just matches so damn well with Custodian Guard, and this list is focused on Custodian Guard spam. So Kyria Draxus goes in 1 Custodian Guard squad, 2 Blade Champions in the 2 other squads, and then Trajan Valoris in the 4th squad. That leaves us, after also adding Prosecutors and Witch Seekers, with 395 points. That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points. Now, in a normal list, I would be looking at adding some Custodian Wardens. But we're doing a Custodian Guard spam list, not Custodian Warden list. So what do we do now? How do we make this better? Well, first and foremost, the Blade Champion over here. Why don't we go ahead and give one of them Ceaseless Hunter, and we'll give the other one Veiled Blade. So far, so good. 340 points left. That is still a lot of points. What would we like to do here? Well, honestly, you know, I have the chaff I feel I want. I have 1 Prosecutor squad, I have 2 Witch Seekers, and I have the Custodes. So what if we just, what if we just add another Custodian Guard squad, and we have 115 points left, and we throw in Valyrian? Boom. That's 2,000 points. Okay, yeah. So I'm still like in this phase where I'm like, is this right? Am I supposed to have this much stuff all of a sudden? But yeah. Yeah, we do. So 2,000 points gets you 25 custodian guards, each with a character. One of them has Kyria Draxus. So you end up with 29 custodian bodies. Then you have Kyria Draxus, the Callous Assassin, double Witch Seeker, and a Prosecutor Squad. That's so much stuff. Oh my god, that's so much stuff. Okay. All right, yeah. So that might just be the list. Let me have a look at what you guys are saying over here real quick. Oh, sorry, I can't do that because that messes things up. So let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry, I'm a bit behind on messages. Do you think one Caladius tank is viable, or is it only worth it to go with two? I've talked a lot about this. One Caladius Graph tank will only average you 10 damage, which is not enough to kill most things. So the answer is mostly no. I don't think one Caladius Graph tank is worth it. You could argue that your opponent plays differently if you bring a tank, but if they do the math in their head real quick, which you should be doing if you're a competitive Warhammer player, then they'll know, oh wait, if he puts that out and shoots at me, good chance I don't die, and then I just kill the tank, and then, you know, the tank's gone. So you probably, in my opinion, you need to be an actual, like, shooting threat. Would the guard spam list work with fixed objectives? I don't think fixed objectives is for Custodes. People do it sometimes, and I don't understand how they do it. Yeah, that's my opinion. I never play fixed. I never play... Oh, unless I do play fixed against something like Chaos Knights or Imperial Knights, because obviously that is just bring it down for 20 points, and then let's just say you do deploy teleport homers for 12. That's still pretty good. 32 points on secondaries guaranteed. I'll take that. Let's see. 3 times 6 Terminators, 1 with term cap. 2 times 5 guard, 2 blade wizards, 2,000 points. You don't have any chaff in that list, Stefan, so I don't think that's too good. You can't really play the missions. Would you take the shield captain in Alaris to go with Alaris, or the shield captain on foot to go with the wardens, or guards? The guy on foot has master stance compared to Alaris. So I don't actually like the shield captain in Alaris. The only reason I would take the shield captain in Terminator armor is to give him Ceaseless Hunter, to give the Alaris blob a bit more movement and be able to fall back, shoot, and charge. I don't think the stratagem -1 damage has mattered as much as I thought it would for Alaris, because Alaris are 4 wound, right? So damage 3 will still kill them in 2 shots, even if you do -1 damage. And damage 2 does go down to damage 1, which is big, but I just often find that when something is shooting or fighting my Alaris Terminators, it's damage 3. So I just haven't found great use for the captain's free stratagem ability. But if you want to have Ceaseless Hunter, which is a really, really good enhancement, I think the shield captain is a good choice there. I tried to run Terminator, blobs, thoughts on XLRs. So we're actually going to make a list after this that is focused on Terminator spam. So for now, I'm not going to comment too much on that. I can tell you that you're asking about Fist and Flamers. The equivalent Terminators are dog shit. I'm sorry to say it, but they are. I only have the Vindicare and the Eversword. The Vindicare is not worth taking, in my opinion. Any good player, you will never, ever be able to use his ability to snipe his characters. So feel free to take the Eversword. I would skip out on the Vindicare. Replace guards with Wardens, easy. Yep, that is one way to do it. Chris says he hates it. Okay, that means I did a good job on the list. Is Trajan +5 Wardens not an auto-include? In my opinion, yes. But in this case, we're doing a guard spam list. The purpose of this list was just to spam as many guards as possible and not think about an actual, balanced list. Another Blade Champion. Sorry, just looking. Rhinos for Anathema Psychana. I'm not sold. I think the Rhino is the same cost. Is it like 85 points for a Rhino? What is it? Vehicles. Where is it? Oh, there. 75 points for a Rhino. I mean, Rhinos are nice because they can just go around and do objectives and stuff. But 75 points, I'm personally not sold, but maybe it's fine. Are 2 bikes still not worth it? Nope. They're still not worth it. Alaris, yeah. So, Alex, I see your suggestion. Yeah, you could totally add some Alaris to this list. Again, we were just trying to make guard spam. Let's spam as many guards as possible. Charge tank, not if you're dead before you can. I missed that part. Is it worth taking armigers? No. Armigers shooting is not that great anymore, unfortunately. Land Raider helps there, though 240 points still. So I am not sold on the Land Raider. I know some people talk about the Land Raider. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not there. I'm not there personally. Buy enemy lines, then pick best for Custodes and Deep Strike. No. People forget screening is a thing. I don't know why people are like, oh, I'll just, get behind enemy lines. It's really not that easy. It is very, very easy to screen out Custodes. We don't have any long-range shooting. We don't have any indirect shooting. So by the time you can get behind enemy lines with Deep Strike, you've already walked there, basically. You could do it with Rapid Ingress, but then you're like, oh, I have to put my, Venatari or whatever behind enemy lines. I cannot use them for anything else because I took the fixed secondary behind enemy lines. My opponent knows I'm trying to be behind enemy lines. So I don't think that's great. The only armies that can truly run behind enemy lines as a fixed secondary are those that have 3-inch Deep Strike or have like Spore Mines like Tyranids. If a lot of cover, awesome. Sadly, my logo don't go so my cover just doesn't happen. I have to take tanks to reduce what's coming at me. How do you deal with your whole army being 6-inch movement, just praying the Blade Champion advances and charges cover it? So Blade Champion lets you reroll advances and charges. So your average movement, if you use the advance and charge for guards or any squad the Blade Champion is in, is 18 inches. When you start the game, you're 24 inches apart from deployment zone to deployment zone. So if you start a squad just on the line, if possible, behind a ruin, you move them normally turn 1. That will be an average of 9 inches. And then the next turn, it's an average of 18 inches when you use the advance and charge. So that's an average of 27 inches, right? And when you start the game, you're 24 inches apart. That means, in theory, you can be 3 inches within the opponent's deployment zone by turn 2. I've complained many times about the terrain layouts, leaving lots of wide open areas. I just had this discussion with some other people on a different Discord server. I have just come to accept that no matter how you do it or what you think, whatever people play on, like the terrain layouts they play on, is the one they prefer. It literally doesn't matter who you talk to, what army they play. If they play mostly on FLG terrain, then FLG terrain is the best terrain in the whole world. If they play mostly on player plays terrain, then player plays terrain is the only right thing to do, because that's the only skill expression terrain in the world. And if they play on WTC terrain, like I do, then we think WTC terrain is the best. And you know what? We can probably discuss that until the end of the earth, and none of us will agree by the end of it. So I've just come to accept that terrain is terrain. People will enjoy whatever terrain they think is best, and that's the end of it. I'm kind of done discussing terrain layouts because we will never agree on it. And then in your old games are short, but standardized competitive maps tend to have plenty of cover. So you would think that, but go look at LVO, right? I think, actually, let me think. I think I have a picture here, one moment. Let me try and see if I can find it. LVO. I had a picture where I depicted like all of the sidelines available on the LVO layout. No, I don't have it on hand. Anyways, look at LVO terrain and then be terrified about how fucking open it is. That was player plays terrain as well. And it's just, I don't understand it. I don't get it, but some people like it. I accept that. Some people like player plays terrain. I am not one of those people. $5 captain. I live in Europe. You can't run Land Raider here. I think terrain is too dense. So it is possible to run the Land Raider. It's more limited in your movement for sure. Absolutely. You don't know terrain until you see how bad clumsy Orc Studios terrain setup is. Awesome community. I love a lot fun, but the awful terrain layout's awful for us. I have no idea who those guys are, so I can't tell. In the UK, UKTC maps are too narrow for Land Raider spawns. Really? Because I was under the impression that UKTC was like a lighter version of WTC terrain. Let me take a look. UKTC terrain layouts. Why is nothing showing up? This was from the London Grand Tournament 2024. If anyone has a link for the UKTC layouts, please feel free to share it in the chat. UKTC is ITC? That's not confusing at all. ITC terrain layouts. Let's take a look. I see a lot of terrain packages, but no layouts. Why is this so hard to find? Oh well, anyways, doesn't matter. We're not here to look at terrain. It's fine, it's fine. Here's a document for the layouts. Oh, Warhawk, you know what? Maybe YouTube chat automatically bans links. If you're on Discord, could you either share it in the chat or something? Telemon back? No, Sean. I'm sorry. Telemon's not back. It didn't get any price cuts. It didn't get any new abilities. Didn't get any new changes to its weapons. Still bad. Do you think there's any legs to the no Custodes Warlord and just having a token Inquisitor instead in order to fit in more units? Maybe. It's still like a Brave New World. Gotta remember that. It's a Brave New World. DATASLATE's been out for 3 days. I think Custodes characters adds a lot of extra power to the units. So I think it's definitely worth taking characters. Could you just spam out, you know, however many buddies of Custodes and maybe that works out for you? Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps. Let me just check if anyone shared the link for the terrain in the Discord. Here it is. Let me just take a look real quick. Alright, 10th edition terrain and mission packs for the ITC, UKTC, whatever. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I mean, you can definitely drive a Land Raider through this. A Land Raider has plenty of space on layouts like that. It has plenty of space on layouts like this, I imagine. This one looks more like a WTC layout, honestly, but still very open. Wait, why is it so this is the part I don't get, right? So this is the part I don't get. Why do they make terrain layouts where, so this is for a specific mission with a specific setup, right? They make this setup so that you can put, you know, a tank on either end of the fucking map and you can just see 4 objectives. What? Why? Hello? Why? You can put a tank in this corner and you can just see like straight through the entire fucking map. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't get that. I don't get that. Okay, but again, as I said, I just have to accept that some people think that this terrain is the best, you know? This is the greatest terrain in the world. I'm just not one of those guys. Alright, yeah. You force fixed objectives to your opponent with the list with so many characters. That is another thing to consider, absolutely. You have 5 characters in this guard list, which, you know, they can die. It's totally possible. If I was running Wardens, I would say I'm okay with that, because Wardens are tough as fuck to kill. They need to put some serious firepower to pick off those units. And if they're putting all that firepower into those units, that means my other units are probably, you know, free to move somewhere else or kill something else. But yeah, for a full guard list, I would definitely keep in mind that you are giving away 20 points on assassination. That is for sure. To help knights, maybe? Knights can also move on WCC tables. And the new rule for knights is that if they're wholly within the terrain feature, then they can like see through it like it wasn't there. So they can stand inside of a small ruin, and then they can see, you know, all the sidelines. So I don't think that's like something to consider there. You guys think 2 Unit Sisters is enough for secondaries? Some people run 1 Prosecutor Squad, 1 Witch Seeker Squad, and that's it. So yeah, probably. I like having at least 3 units, 1 Prosecutor and 2 Witch Seekers. That's just me though. Alright, so sorry. We totally got away from the discussion about the list. This is the guard spam list. And by God, would I not run just guards? I would probably also get either Terminators or Wardens in here. But the practice here, the exercise, so to speak, was to see how many guards can we get and still build a reasonable list. The answer is 25. You can get 25 guards in a list, and still have what to me looks like a reasonable list. You have 2 Witch Seekers, Prosecutors, Callous Assassin, and then characters for the Custodian Guards. Yeah, okay. Someone asked about like, oh, what do you put in Deep Strike? That is totally matchup dependent. It's very hard for me to tell. Matchup dependent, like mission dependent, like layout dependent even. So could you just put 1 squad in Deep Strike and probably be fine? Yeah. Which one would I put? Probably either the Valyrian or the Trajan squad for rapid ingressing. The Blade Champion adds so much mobility that you don't really need the rapid ingress. Kyria Draxus wants to be on the board for shooting. So if I were to put one of these squads in Deep Strike, probably either Trajan or Valyrian to help them get up the board. I would definitely be using the new shield captains in my new lists. At least trying it. Do you think it's worth points now? Seems much better value. The new shield captains? What do you mean, Tobias? There are no new shield captains. And the shield captains cost the same as they did before. So I'm not quite sure what you are asking, I'm afraid. Anyways, I will say the experiment is complete. This is your Oops All Guards spam list if you wish to run it. Trajan Valoris, Valyrian, Blade Champion, Ceaseless Hunter, Blade Champion, Veiled Blade, 5x5 Custodian Guards with spears. If you want to, you could remove 1 spear for a shield. That'll give you a little bit more survivability against damage 3. Don't think it matters too much personally. 1 Prosecutor Squad, 2x4 Witch Seekers, Callous Assassin, and Lord Inquisitor Kyria Draxus. Right. That is 2,000 points on the nose. Next up, we have the Terminator spam list. And this list was something that existed before the data slate. And basically, it looks like this. You go Alaris Terminators, you go 5, and then you do 3 of them. Boom. That's basically like the core of the list. So, let's look at this. So 5 Alaris Terminators. We want at least 1 Shield Captain, for sure. We want to give him Ceaseless Hunter. There we go. And now the question becomes, what do we do with the rest of our points? Let's go ahead and add the 1 Prosecutor and 2 Witch Seekers. Let's go ahead and add the Callous Assassin. Let's also add the Evasor Assassin, just for funsies. And yeah, okay. That, honestly, 550 points is a lot of points. Huh. That's a lot of points. That is what? 450? That is, say, Custodian Warden Squad. 5-man with a Vexilla. Plus Trajan. We have 140 points left. I mean, I guess we make these 6-man squads. Oops. Alright, yeah. Holy shit. Okay. So you get 17 Alaris Custodians. So you make the captain join the 5-man unit. The reason why you make the captain join the 5-man unit is because coherency starts at 7 models now. And you might not think it matters, but when you charge, it actually matters quite a lot when you pile in. I've been in some situations with a 7-man Alaris squad where I'm like, I cannot get into combat with this last guy because otherwise I break coherency. So it does matter if you don't roll high enough on your charge roll. So what you would do here is you would take the shield captain, put in the 5-man squad, and then you have 2 6-man squads by themselves. And then you have one warden unit with Trajan. You have 2 witch seekers, you have prosecutors, and you have double assassin for mission play. That doesn't look terrible to me. Vinatari spam list is interesting. So my issue with Vinatari now is that for 25 points more, I can just get 2 guards. You know? 25 points for 6 more wounds that are arguably better in combat. They are slower. They don't have rapid ingress for free, so you do need to pay the command points for it. But 25 points for 2 more custodian bodies. That's kind of hard to beat. I'm not saying Vinatari are bad. I still think they are good. I just have a harder time being like, oh yeah, I'll take Vinatari over guard. Because before it was, oh, I can have 4 custodian guards or 3 Vinatari. That was a bit more, that was a bit closer of a match. Now it's, 25 points more for, 2 custodian guards more. That's like, ooh, I'm not sure Vinatari beats that. I'm honestly not sure. Personally. Did he make a list including Sagittarium by any chance? Brick City, TCG. Let me tell you it the nice way. If you want to play Sagittarium, play Custodian Guards instead. Custodian Guards will shoot better than Sagittarium, and they will fight better than Sagittarium. So, yeah, that's the easy way of saying it. Yeah. Sorry, new bike shield caps and point reductions. Tobias, the bikes are still bad. They are playable, is what I'll say. Before, like it was impossible, even if you know you're trolling by putting bikes in your list. It was impossible to put them in your list because they took up like 500 points. Now they only take up like, what is it, 380? Still crazy expensive, but you can actually include them without it being completely troll. 11 Alaris, 1 Alaris cap, and 1 Land Raider. Again, I'm not sold on the Land Raider personally. 21 Alaris is simply too many. Well, if it's too many for the opponent, that's a good thing. I personally like 2 Graph Tanks and Minotauri are needed. What web he uses, this is new recruit. Full Alaris list versus full Imperial Guard list. Break the planet, not the card. Minotauri are for applying more pressure with the Alaris blip jump. I get that. My point is you can do that with a Custodian Guard as well. For 25 more points, and yes, you have to pay the command point, you then rapid ingress Custodian Guards. Swap Prosecutors for 3rd Witchseeker squad or no? Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, honestly, yeah. There's no reason to... Prosecutors are OC too. I don't think it matters. You're probably right. You probably just take 3 Witchseeker squads instead of 1 Prosecutor and 2 Witchseekers because you have 10 points left over, and you can't really spend that on anything else. There is one thing you could do. So, if you for some whatever reason don't want to run Trajan, you could take Shield Captain, normal Shield Captain, and throw on the Veil Blade. That's the word I was looking for. Wait, why is that so much cheaper? Oh. Anyways. I would run Trajan. Oh, because we removed the Witchseeker squad. That's why. Never mind. Yeah, but you could totally run 3 Witchseeker squad instead. Set life for Sagittarium. Yeah, Sagittarium will not see any play until our codex comes out, unless they do an emergency update, which I don't think they will do. Especially not for Sagittarium. If any emergency update comes out, it's probably going to be nerfing Necrons and maybe even Custodes. We don't know yet. Can we add 1 X Obliteratum to this? Is anyone going to tell him Obliteratum was 9th edition? Doesn't exist in 10th edition? I don't have the heart to tell him. Who will tell him? Anyways, this is a list. This is a list. As someone said in the chat, you could remove Trajan, remove the Wardens, and then get yourselves double tanks. Where are they? Where are my tanks? There they are. Wait, nope, you can't do that. That's too many points. So I guess you kill a Witchseeker squad and you get another Prosecutor squad like that. That is an option. You still have your chaff, you have your mission play, you have 18 Terminators, and then double tanks. That is an option. That is absolutely an option. I think I'm just gonna leave the Terminators at that because, yeah, that was a quick one, and we ended up talking way too much about the guard list. I was thinking this stream would last like 45 minutes at most. We're already at 40-minute mark, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. But yeah, here's your Terminator list potentially. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the tanks real quick. So, Terminator list: Shield Captain and Alaris Terminator armor, Prosecutor, Alaris, Witchseekers, Calidus Assassin, Evasaur Assassin. Then you have the points to either add a Warden squad with Trajan, a Warden squad with Shield Captain and Enhancement, or double tanks. That is up for you to decide. And yeah, I think that's a Terminator list. That's a Terminator list. Have you tried a list to try and get something that still worked versus triple Manticore? Because all my infantry had a bad time. So triple Manticore is not something I've run into personally, so I don't have any experience into them. What is the profile of Manticore? I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember. Index, Imperial Guard. Manticore. Whoop. So the Manticore got D6 plus 1, 4, 10, 2, 3. That is scary. Yeah. Each time small makes an attack with a Storm-Edge rocket, 5 or more models, you can reroll the hit roll. Woof. Yeah, that's rough. The best answer to this is, honestly, probably Wardens. Wardens is a good answer to everything, obviously. Deep Striking, and yeah, maybe a Land Raider. But even a Land Raider gets kinda chunked out by these. Oh, but they don't get the rerolls against the Land Raider. Okay, so if you don't know Happy Crumping Wargaming, he already proposed the idea of a Land Raider against indirect fire. My local meta just has no guards, because no one in my local meta wants to play Parking Lot Guard. Even if Parking Lot Guard is a really good army, it's a really boring army. So even all the guards players I know, they just don't play guard because they think it's so boring. But if you are running into triple Manticore, then yeah, I guess a Land Raider is a pretty good answer to it. Yeah. Sorry, Solomon Yuja, so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Hello bro, quick question, why Witch Seeker instead of Prosecutors? New in Custodes here. So, Witch Seekers have what's called a scout move. Well, you're new to Custodes, not new to the game. Witch Seekers have scout move 6, which helps us complete a lot of secondaries early on, turn 1, such as, cleanse or extend battle lines, secure no man's land. It allows us to get on those objectives with something we don't mind dying, rather than having to, advance a Custodian Guard squad out on the objective, and then potentially watch as the opponent obliterates that Custodian Guard squad. Terminators are good into that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but as I said, like teleporting, the issue is that guard probably also has chaff and like can block out your deep strikes within 12, I believe. So, but yeah, my answer to the question about Manticores is deep striking, wardens, or transport in the form of a Land Raider. Or, maybe Caladius Grav tanks, because if all their points are spent on shooting indirect weapons at your infantry, your tanks have a good chance of moving up, picking stuff up. I'm not sure. But yeah, I can definitely see Manticores being an issue. Again, I have no guards in my local meta because no one thinks guards are fun to play. If I play guard in the Custodes, I'd run 2 battles, 1 Manticore, and then a tank commander and freeman. So the issue also is, so I get that the Manticore is good against Custodes. Is it also good against other armies? On paper, it looks pretty good. So the answer is maybe yes. But I'm genuinely asking, because again, I have very little experience into guards, so I don't know. But like, if you specifically make your list to beat Custodes, and you run into issue losing against, a lot of other factions, then you're not doing that anymore. On a competitive level, anyway. There is a solar to... Again, Alex, I don't really know guard too much, so I can't really comment on that. At least Trajan can kill Bulgrin now. So again, I play with WGC rules, which always ruled that Trajan was able to ignore those things. So Trajan could also kill them before, but now it is cleared up. Everyone's agreeing on the same page. That is good, obviously. I'm not new to Custodes, but your videos help think about the game, understanding competitive play, etc. Thanks for what you do for your time. No worries. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. Dark Spear GT Dribble Manticore went 5-0. Was that with the new data slate or the old data slate? Because I do believe Manticores went up in price, question mark, with the new data slate. So that's something to consider. Yeah. All right, cool. I think I've caught up on chat. Let's go ahead and head to the next list. Before we head to the next list, I'm going to go ahead and grab something to drink real quick because my throat's getting dry. So one moment, boys. We'll be right back. And we've returned. It was on the old DATASLATE, so mana core went up in price, which doesn't mean that they're not included anymore. But it does mean that they're more expensive, which obviously means that maybe people don't bring 3 of them. We don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The thing we have to remember, so another just a quick note. The meta changed 3 days ago. Tons of nerfs all around the place. Eldar, CSM, and even World Eaters got pretty nerfed. All of these things can completely change how the game is. What is good before the DATASLATE might completely change because let's just look at CSM, right? CSM might not be running the Chosen, Forge Fiend, Rhino, Undivided spam like they did before. They might just not do that. And that means they're forced to take something else. And that something else might just happen to be really good into, say, the old Eldar build. And if that thing is very good into the old Eldar build, well, then the Eldars are going to change up their list. And then the Eldar list is all of a sudden very good into, I don't fucking know, very good into Space Marines. And then Space Marines need to change their thing. And then their list is good against something else. And that just changes up the entire metagame. So while it is fair to look at something and be like, this was really good before, probably going to be good again, that means that, we don't really know how that makes the end of everything look by the end. That was a horrible sentence. The meta is going to change for a lot of armies. Because it changes for one army, that might impact a second army. And that second army might impact a third army, and then a fourth army, and a fifth army, and so on and so forth. So, while it is totally fair right now to say triple mana core, very scary, maybe triple mana core is very weak into some other build. And that other build just completely destroys Guard. And if Guard wants to play, they now have to accept that if they run triple mana core, it's not good. With the point drop to Loris, do you think they compete with the Custodes for anti-tank now? No, they have different roles. They have completely different roles. Hello Andy, welcome to the stream. Got a game this evening against a good Space Marine player. I'm running Blade Guard, Blade Champion Guard, TJ Wardens, Shield Captain Wardens with 2 tanks and 1 squad of Venatari. Very different from what I usually run. It looks like you're missing out on some secondary play, but good luck. Good luck. What's up, Rejnols? What is the consensus so far regarding the list? We're just cooking, right? We're just cooking, and the lists we've been making are not necessarily competitive. We've just been trying to make, more fun lists, I suppose, that are still playable. So we've made a guard list that was 25 guards with characters and secondary mission units. We made a list with Terminators, which is either 18 Terminators, Wardens, Trajan, and secondary play, or 18 Terminators, secondary play, and 2 tanks. Can I show the guard spam quickly? So, good thing about YouTube live streams, you can just go back in the live stream, find the point where I'm talking about the guards, and then once you're done looking at that, you can go ahead and skip on to the live broadcast. So, no need for me to go back to it. You can just go back in the broadcast and look at it. Do you think we need Custodes tanks? No, not at all. Not at all. I have not been running Custodes tanks since I went to the WCC tournament, and even at the WCC tournament, I was like, I could probably do better if I didn't have tanks. Tanks solve some issues, but they also create some issues. It's a give or take. It's also about playstyle, terrain, matchups, etc., etc., etc. But I don't think we need any vehicles at all to compete. I was wondering, still gonna run Valyrian? Maybe. Is my answer. I don't know. Alright, let's head into the third list I had planned for today. Not saying this is the last one, but third list I've planned for today is plastic only. Plastic only means no Forge World. I think, well, the Terminator list, you could take tanks. But basically, you can 100% play competitive Custodes without any Forge World. Let me show you the list that I've been running so far. So my list so far has been Trajan, a Blade Champion, and a Shield Captain. And I give the Blade Champion Veiled Blade, and I give the Shield Captain Ceaseless Hunter. Then I have 2 units of Custodian Guards. Boom, boom. I have, let's see here, Witch Seeker, Prosecutor, Called Assassin, Kyria Draxus. Where's Kyria Draxus? There she is. Wardens. Duplicate. What am I missing from my list? Oh yeah, I run a third squad of guards. And this one is weird. I'm still testing this. I'm not saying this is good, okay? I am not saying this is good. I am currently running a third guard squad that is shields. Full shields. And you might be like, well, that sounds weird. But like 225 points for 20 wounds with a 2-up save, 4-up invuln. Are they gonna kill anything? I mean, chaff, yes. But like, throw that in the middle objective instead of your wardens and be like, 20 wounds, 2-up save, 4-up invuln. Not that easy to kill. Also, I'm OC 15, by the way. So, yeah, I've been trying this. And I like it. I have 40 points left over. I think I have, so I have 2 units of prosecutors. Yeah. This is the list I've been running for the last 2 days. I only have 2 games with it so far, but I do like it. As before, you do have the issue of giving up assassination. Not quite as much, because you have wardens with some of your characters, and the other character, the Callous Assassin, is lone operative, so it's a bit harder to kill. But there is 5 characters, so you do give up 20 points on assassination. That is the thing to consider. What do you think about this list? Sorry, your name is Guilherme Rossi. I'm not gonna do list reviews right now. In depth, I'll just look at it real quick and just say what I think real quick. Don't take anything too personal about it, and don't take any advice, I guess, too directly. Let's see here. So, Alaris Shield Captain, Seize List, Trajan, Prosecutor Squads, times 2, Alaris times 5, Alaris times 3, 2 Wardens, 5 Minatari, 2 Calidus. Do you mean Caladius like the Graph tank? Because the Calidus is the assassin and the Caladius is the tank. Sorry, so you have 1 Alaris squad, you have 2 Warden squads. Wait, you have 1 Warden squad? This is confusing, sorry. Gilhern, your format on the list is a bit weird for me to read. Feel free to post your list in the Discord. There's a list review section, and I can take a look at it later. But I can't really read your list because it's a little bit weird. Do you think Kyria is worth taking, or just stick to the 2 assassins? Still testing. I'm still testing it. As I have already mentioned it, what Kyria Draxus does for guard is increase their shooting. And that's pretty good. Like, the guard is already a decent shooting unit. Now you add 2 extra weapons to it, one of it being indirect shuriken catapult, the other one being anti-infantry devastating wounds. Do we need it? Maybe. Does it feel pretty good to shoot? Yeah, it feels pretty good to shoot. The 18-inch no shooting thing have come up very rarely. 12-inch and 18-inch, there's only 6 inches difference, but it's a big difference. One thing I have found that's actually really nice is +1 to hit against Xenos. Did not expect that coming up when you're hitting on 2s, but a lot of stuff have, abilities to be -1 to hit, or stealth, and all those things. So that actually comes up more often than I thought it would. Hey, hello, Jonathan. Johnny, I've already forgotten what you call yourself, but in any case, Happy Crumping Wargaming, guys, is another channel that covers Custodes, but also Orcs, World Eaters, a bunch of stuff, so feel free to check him out if you feel like it. Draxus purpose for so that's another thing I haven't talked about. So what you can do is you can put Draxus with Inquisitorial Henchmen, and Inquisitorial Henchman gives you a 12-inch no deep strike bubble. And then you make it, you cannot be hit outside of 18, and then you just screen your backline. That's another way of doing it. I've been using it with Guard for the extra shooting, to have to have a shooting unit, to be honest. Custodian shooting is not bad, but sometimes it's just like, I just need that a little bit more. And for that purpose, I think she's pretty decent. Kyria gives loans up more. No, so that's the thing, Ethan. She does not give loan up. She gives 18-inch loan up, which is, again, surprisingly a lot worse than loan up. Good against indirect fire, though. Good against indirect fire. What about removing some guards to put Alaris? So I might be completely wrong here, but I kind of value guards higher than Terminators now. It's like the same thing with Atari, right? It's just like I look at the points and I go, you know, for a full 5-man squad of Terminators, I could almost get 10 guards. What can we expect from the new codex? And does it? Oh, no, I am not jumping into that one. I think the codexes so far that have been released have been pretty good. It seems like AdMech was a miss, but the Tyranids Codex, quite a lot of variety. Space Marine, a lot of variety. Necron seems to have a good amount of variety. And then there's AdMech, which is not a bad codex, but it might be like one of those, you know, good players can make good things happen. And you know, your average player might just look on in despair. Please help me collect a roster for 1,000 points. 2 combat patrol boxes. I think that's the easiest way to get it to 1,000 points and get a lot of good value. Bikes are not great right now, but they are a cool model, and you can still play with them. They're not great, but you can still play with them. What about 2-man unit of Alaris' action monkeys? That's 140 points, my boy. Don't sleep on AdMech. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I think AdMech might be in a spot where, you know, your routinely decently competitive player will be able to do things with them, but your average, you know, I play Warhammer every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks, or every month, just feels really bad about them because they don't use all those, you know, advanced tactics or ways of playing the game. Boarding patrol is good too. Yeah, but I don't think the boarding patrol is something they create anymore. So it's only if you can find the boarding patrol box, like in a store somewhere. Do you think we can have plastic models of Force Will with the Codex release? Yeah, I don't think so. Honestly, I think we'll get our character, and that's it. We'll get that one character they've teased, and that's it, in my personal opinion. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. All right, anyways, I got away from the list. This is the list I've been running. As I said, you give up 20 points on assassination, in theory, but you do have 2 characters in Warden squads, which are really hard to kill. The idea being that if they are aiming to shoot down the Wardens, then they're not shooting at my guards. If they're not shooting at my guards are running across the table, beating people up. I have double Witch Seekers, double Prosecutors, and Custodes Assassins, so I have plenty of secondary action play. Yeah, that's the list I've been running. And and then the weird one. The 5-man shield guard that I throw in the middle when I don't want to give up my Wardens. To be like, hey, you know what? Not as tanky as Wardens. Still 20 wounds, 2 up save, 4 up invuln. Not sold on this one, by the way. Absolutely not sold on this one. I'm still trying it. Who could the character be? I honestly, I don't know. My biggest issue with Custodes is that the variety in characters is good, but they all go in the same fucking squads, right? You have Trajan, so you have Trajan, Shield Captain, Blade Champion, Valyrian. They can all join Custodian Guards or Wardens. They're all fighting to get a spot in that list. So like, I don't know. I think Trajan should be able to join Terminators personally. Just for a variety in the codex. Would that be absolutely broken? Maybe, but then we can nerf it. I think we need a little bit of leader variety, because right now it's very much, you know, Terminator armor captain goes in Terminator squad, and that's it. You don't get anything else, any other options. In regards to Witch Seekers being good for scoring secondaries of scout move, do you draw cards before it? No, you draw cards after your scout move. So the idea being, if you go first, you push out the Witch Seekers. You push out the Witch Seekers to do potentially a secondary you will be drawing. If you don't go first, then you accept that you may not be able to do those secondaries, and you hide the Witch Seekers behind a wall or put them in a spot where they don't just get picked up. Obviously, the best thing you can do is deploy them in a way where they can move 6 inches forward and be in cover, and then also potentially reach the objective, reach the corner, reach the center, etc., etc. There'll be new Custodes soon. No, we just talked about it. Oglow. I don't really know. I don't really know. Some people are like, oh, it'll be a lone ops character. And I'm like, really? Would they give Custodes lone ops, like on a character? Would they do that? Maybe. We'll see. Do you think it's worth dropping unit sizes to 4? No. So if you do unit sizes of 4, it's because you're using it for like, you know, MSU purposes. And for Custodes, when you bring a character, you kind of want max value. So I don't personally think it's a good idea to drop to 4-man units. Is there a world where you can build a list that focuses on MSU, and because you take 4-man units, you can get away with, you know, 1 or 2 more units total? Probably. Personally, not sold though. That would be busted? You mean the Trajan with Alaris? Is it really that busted? 5-inch movement. You cannot have Ceaseless Hunter. Yeah, you get Trajan with the full rerolls. Yeah, you cannot be slowed. You're immune to wound. Okay, it's probably a bit too good. But then we, you know, then we nerf it, right? Then we increase the cost of Trajan by 10 points or 15 points until it makes sense. I just want more variety in my character options. It really feels like I just have, you know, I really just have 2 units that can have characters, and they all want to be in those units. And so I'm constantly like, oh, I need to figure out what is best for every single scenario and take it from there. Do you think it's worth... Oh yeah, that's what you said. A large character would be nice. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Just opening up new secondary... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you scout out with the Witch Seekers to have the option of completing those secondaries turn 1, which you otherwise would not be able to unless you wanted to, say, advance a squad of Custodian Guards, and then they can be shot at, and then they die, and obviously that feels bad. How come no Caladius, no tanks? So first of all, this list in particular was meant to be plastic only, no Forge World. Second of all, I don't think Caladius is the way to go. I think you can totally play them. I don't think they're bad to play. I just don't think they're the best choice. Okay, so these are the 3 lists that I have been thinking about real quick. Not thinking about. This is the list I've been playing, and the 2 other lists were like, you know, experimental, right? We did the how many guards can we fit in a list that actually makes sense, and how many Terminators can we fit in a list and also make it make sense. Aren't Shield Captains only 140? They are. What are we talking about? I might have missed something. I'm not sure what we're talking about, Eric, but welcome to the stream. These are the 3 lists that we just did for funsies. If anyone has a suggestion for a list they would like to see made, feel free. Just if you play Calidus, you need to... yes, yeah. The math does not check out very well if you just run 1 Caladius Graph Tank, and I suppose a good player would be like, wait a minute, that tank does not kill my stuff on average. I'm just gonna zoom ahead and ignore it. Oh, that's because I gave him an enhancement, Eric. I gave him the Ceaseless Hunter enhancement. That's 30 points. Alright, thank you all again so much for watching. I hope you have been enjoying the stream. We're not ending yet. I think I'm gonna go for like another 20 minutes or so. And thank you to the super chats. We've had 2 super chats so far from Solomon, I believe. Sorry if I already mispronounced that name or said it wrong. Salomon, not Solomon. Salomon. Thank you for the super chat, as well as Eli Konian. Thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. So what do we have time for one more list. We have time for one more list. Let's just 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What are we cooking? What are we cooking? Right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make a bike list. Warning, this list is bad. Use it at your own discretion. Virtus Praetor, we want at least... So yeah, we want a captain and a 3-man squad for sure. That's for sure. Do we want 2 captains and 2 3-man squads though? That's another question. a Caladius base list. I mean, throw 2 tanks in, and then that's a Caldas base list. That's it. Take any list I've built today, remove 430 points, and throw in 2 tanks. That's it. Sister spam. So I did a TTS game with 30 what do you call them? What are they called? Vigilators. 30 Vigilators against Death Guard, and it was actually hilarious because neither of us could kill each other, but he couldn't fall back because I had Knight Centura in each of the Vigilator squads. So he couldn't hit me, I couldn't kill him, and then we just kind of stood there and we couldn't fall back because if he falls back, he needs to take a Desperate Escape test because of the Knight Centura, and it was a weird game. It was a weird game. You can also do 3 Caladius Graph tanks. I think that might be stepping into like overkill. Like imagine you run into World Eaters with 3 tanks. It's like, oh, I have one good target. It's Angron. Everything else feels shit to shoot at. But yeah, so I did basically run like a full sister list. It was like 30 Vigilators with a Knight Centura in each, in a Rhino, and then I think some Prosecutors and Trajan and a Warden squad. That was 2,000 points. New player here. How do I deal with 10 man of Hellblasters with an Apothecary? Melee. If you go into combat against 10 Hellblasters with 5 Custodians, I think you wipe the squad on average. Don't question, I'm pretty sure. If you don't wipe the squad on average, then you kill, I don't know, 6, 7 of them. And then they fall back, and then they can't shoot unless they spin a stratagem. And then you charge them again, you kill them. I know that's a very bad answer, Eric, but it's like, it's really hard to give advice on like, oh, deal with this unit in this one easy trick. But like, there's so many things. How you deployed, where are they standing, how's the terrain? So it's a little bit hard to give like, oh yeah, just do this. Sister list would be fun. Sister list, dollar. Okay, fuck it. We're building a sister list, I guess. Whatever. Right, so, sister list. Sister list. 3 Rhinos, for sure. 3 squads of Vigilators. We want 10 girls in each. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. That is 615 points for our, like, main combat units. Alright. Alright. So. What else do we run? So I guess we run, we definitely run 3 units of Witch Seekers. Do we make them? Let's keep them as 4-mans for now. We'll take it from there. We'll run 3 units of Prosecutors. We still run some Custodes because we're not crazy. We will run Trajan with some Vardens. And let's do another Warden squad with, let's do a Blade Champion. Fuck it. A Blade Champion, we'll give the Blade Champion Ceaseless Hunter. Now we have 305 points left. You know what? Fuck it. Witch Seekers, you've been promoted. 9, 9, 9. And we still have 80 points left. God damn it. Alright, another Rhino. More Rhinos. More Rhinos. Yeah, I mean, you can flood the board here. This is... this list dies to Stormbolters. This list absolutely gets destroyed by Stormbolters, but it's pretty funny. Yeah. Alright, there's your sister list. Congratulations. True, Joshua. I think this list is probably... so it's $60 for 5 sisters. We are running... Let's see, we're running 30. We're running 60 sisters. We're running 72 sisters divided by 5. That's, wait, why is math hard? So 36? No, wait, that's not right. You know, when I do Warhammer math, I'm pretty good. When I have to do normal math, I'm terrible. So we need 72 divided by 5. That's 14 and a half boxes, but obviously you need to buy 15 boxes. 15 boxes at $60 per box is a clean $860. That's more, right? That's more. 60 times 15. That's $900. Casual $900 on Sisters of Silence. Right there, baby. That is true. Yeah, the cheapest way to do that would just literally be buying 10 Combat Patrol boxes, then sell the guards, sell the bikes, and probably like get it for less than half the price. All right. All right, folks. I think we are done for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Join the Discord. There's a link in the description below. And I'm pretty active on Discord. I am soon starting a new job. Well, soon, in 2.5 weeks. So I'll have less time for YouTube, but I'll obviously still do it. This is my hobby. I just do it because I like it. So I appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chats. Thank you all so much. I'm new Warhammer and I bought a Watchers of the Gate. Can you recommend what else I should be looking? Yeah, Combat Patrol is... No, actually no, not Combat Patrol, because you already have 15 guards. Probably like 1 or 2 boxes of Wardens, and then 1 or 2 boxes of Terminators, and then you're pretty good to go. You have quite a lot of options to go from there. Alright, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I had to burp. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.